Hi YouTubers, Rebecca Tiernanroy here from BigLoveWaves.com. Please stop by and check us out. And please like, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment, even if it's just a smiley face, so that you're telling the algorithm of YouTube to pass this and show this in people's feed. I really, really appreciate it. This is a brand new channel, and I'm really hoping it will be successful this time, because I have another channel. Okay, I'm just trying to find the beginning. Okay, so I received this channel yesterday, and I wanted to pass it on to you. It's a permission slip for everything. It's a permission slip for everything. Choose joy. Raph says we are scratching and sniffing, and which cracked me up. That's Archangel Raphael. He's always in my head. I've been calling him Raph for a very long time. He doesn't mind. It's not disrespectful. We came in and have been under the thumb of the dark forces, think there's something wrong with us, and we quite often say, what's wrong with me? But as I told you in the last YouTube, there is nothing wrong with you. You are perfect. When you start to play with these ideas that you're actually perfect and nothing is wrong with you, then you start to see the game that's being played around you, and you see the illusion of what they're peddling, and it no longer interests you. This is when you can create your own paradigm, your own scenarios, your own inspirations. Let me mute this. Your own inspirations. You can create the fifth dimension how you want it to be, because remember, it hasn't been created yet. We are creating it and making it right now. This is the time. This is the paradigm shift. This is when time has been shifted from linear structure to a circular structure, just like this. And they've been telling me about this for a couple of years now. This is how time actually is. It's circular. It's not linear at all, which I find very interesting. We have the gift of being able to create our own reality without all the hatred, war, starvation, poverty being there. We can say, no, thank you. I don't want that in my paradigm, no matter what it is. This is what the angels have been telling us, to use our free will, but we are not using it because we are so trained to just follow what is put before us. And what has been put before us is we were enslaved. We were enslaved to everything that brings them prosperity and joy and leaves nothing for us. We are in a period of time where we have to work to have things. We have to work hard, but that is not actually the reality. People are upset because AI is going to come and it's going to take away all the jobs. That just means you don't have to toil all day for someone else to make a living and barely scrape by. So there won't be, a household of two people working two jobs and you're still not making it. This is actually good news. As we learn to play with the energy, we will create realities that we never dreamed of. This is just the beginning. It is time to play with the energy and see what you can create out of it. The first thing you need to do is believe it's possible. You need to believe that your free will counters everything you don't want, and everything you do want, you can bring into your reality. It all stems on your belief. What we need to concentrate is on the higher vibrations, what it is that we want to see happen. And when something comes into your paradigm that you don't want, we have free will to say no. We have that free will. Have you ever thought about your free will? Really thought about your free will and what it gives you and how you can use it? So if you don't want Joe Smo coming down the street and saying, hey, Rebecca, can I borrow $100? And you normally would say, yeah, he's good for it, I'll give it to him. But you don't want that in your paradigm. Say, I wonder what Joe would be like in the fifth dimension. And guess what? Third dimensional Joe disappears out of your life. Say, I'm not in the third dimension where he exists. I'm in the fifth dimension, and in the fifth dimension, he's not in my paradigm. He's not a buddy. He's just somebody that borrows money from me all the time. So you don't have to have him in your paradigm. We're just now touching on the tip of the iceberg. Like Archangel Raphael said to me today, it's like those scratch and sniffs. You scratch it and you sniff it, and it smells good. But then you forget about it. This is what you are doing. You're saying, oh, okay, I can do this. I can love myself completely and unconditionally without judgment. And I can love you completely and unconditionally without judgment. And a scenario presents itself and you do it. And you're like, I did it. Yeah. And then you forget all about it. You forget about it. Well, that's what we're doing right now. We're scratching the surface of what we can actually do. How can we actually create? And we're saying, oh, that smells good. I'll put that in my paradigm. Or that does not smell good. I do not want to put that in my paradigm. So you're telling the universe with your emotions and your reactions, everything that happens, whether that is what you will have in your paradigm. If you're constantly in struggle and you're constantly defending yourself or in a position where you don't want to be in and having to help do something you don't want to do, take that out of your paradigm. Say, that's 3D. That's a 3D paradigm. I'm in the fifth dimension, and in the fifth dimension, it looks more like this. And tell the universe what it looks like. When you think about it that way and make it as simple as possible, as you can possibly make it, that's when you realize the magic is at your fingertips. You're just not touching it. You're not touching it and pulling it into your life. You're allowing it to just hang out there and do nothing. But you don't have to do that anymore because the shift has happened. The shift has happened and the energy is there for everything that you want to create. It's there. You just have to know that you can do that now. But our brain has been so trained to think that we can't do any magic whatsoever and we can't bring anything to us because of the, what was that called? I can't think of it. But a lot of people have their hopes dashed because of a certain book that came out in, I think it was 2020 or 2019. Okay, so use your voice to say no to the things you do not want, no matter what it is. We are just now getting glimpses into what it will take to be awake in our full dimensional self. So I was already thinking about this when I decided to watch Emilio Ortez's show. He has on Jim Self. I've never heard of him before. He's on Emilio's show and he's talking about the pause. My words, not his. But that's what he's talking about. So you're in the fifth dimension and something triggers you. And you take the pause. You allow yourself to just be in the moment. And he's saying that if you partake in this third dimensional trigger, that you're giving it permission. Mind blown. I'm giving it permission. Oh my God. I never thought about that. But you can say, okay, you have a right to exist, but I do not want to partake. And therefore, you stay in the fifth dimension. This one sentence blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, think about all the things that you could take out of your life and not have to deal with. Think about it. Think about all the things that you could say no to and just, nope, I'm going back into the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension, it's this scenario is not this scenario. This scenario is this scenario. So it just got me thinking about the channelings that I've received and how everyone from Yeshua to the angels to Kuan Yin have all said that everything has a right to be. What it does not have a right to do is force its will upon you. So if you say, no, I do not want this in my paradigm, I understand that you have a right to live, meaning the trigger, whatever it is, But that's a third dimensional thought. I do not want to partake in that process. I choose to be in the fifth dimension. And in the fifth dimension, you don't exist. So therefore, you don't exist to me because I'm in the fifth dimension. It's the same thing that I did with my emphysema. I went from severe emphysema to moderate emphysema, and eventually I will be with zero emphysema. And what I did was Jesus told me that I needed to change my disease thinking. So every time that I would think I can't breathe, I would say, yes, I can breathe just fine. And I would slow my breath down, because if your out breath is longer than your in breath, your brain says, okay, we're safe. And it stops over breathing. You over breathe when you feel fear, when you feel afraid of something. And I was over breathing because I did have severe emphysema. I was tethered to oxygen 24/7. And so my brain was trained to over breathe. I'd get up to go to the kitchen, which isn't very far, a few steps, and I was over breathing. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I trained my brain to stop doing that. And I'd go up the stairs, and I could only go up halfway up the stairs when I would start over breathing. And my husband would have to help me up the stairs, take my hand and pull me up. I don't have that anymore because I retrained my brain that I do not need that help. I don't need it. I don't need that help. And as soon as you retrain your brain to do that, then you can start saying, no, I don't need that help. I don't need that. I don't need that in my paradigm. You have my permission to live, which I didn't realize that I was giving it permission or not giving it permission. And this is the nugget that I got from that show, was this nugget of wisdom had it completely escaped my thought process. And then it made me think about all the things that I started to do once Jesus told me that I could say no, which was last summer, because I'm 62 and we get new pains all the time. Like the other day, my wrist started hurting. I'm like, what is that all about? I haven't been writing a lot or playing the piano or, doing anything where my wrists were bent and not neutral. And the neutral stuff, I try to keep my wrists neutral because I took piano lessons as a kid. And I was taught to do that so you don't get carpal tunnel. So, but that's what it felt like. It was like I was starting to get some kind of carpal tunnel going on. And I'm like, no, and no to the new pain. But I never thought about saying no to everything else. I just thought about pain being no. I thought about the new pains being no, because that's where Yeshua said that I could say no. But when Jim Self said you can say no to everything you don't want, a plethora of things started rolling through my mind of things I don't want, because I'm in a world of 3D people that are not on an enlightenment journey, have no idea what I'm talking about when I try to explain things to them. And often, AKA sons, think that I'm crazy when I tell them nothing is impossible. It's kind of soul crushing at times, because you want to share the magic that's happened to you, but you don't have anybody around you to share it with. My husband does listen, and he is really, really a sweetheart about being in my corner. He's a great cheerleader for me, because he believes in my channelings, and he believes that I am connected because of the things that I have said and told him that his parents have said to him that he knows are true. So, that is helpful. I have to give him a kudo for that. But he's really the only one in my physical life that, is there for me in this aspect of things. Now, online, I have a ton of friends and I have a ton of clients, and I have, I'm well respected. But in my physical real life, I have a lot of people that aren't there. They're living a 3D life, and they're living things as it's thrown at them. So a situation is thrown at them and they're just dealing with it. And it's thrown at them and they're dealing with it. But we don't have to do that anymore. We can say no. And we can say no to all the different situations. And in my next YouTube, I'm going to tell you what happened today. And I went into the fifth dimension and said, what will happen with this problem in the fifth dimension? And you'll hear about that in the next YouTube. So this is when I realized, oh, okay, so the thing that happened recently was I wasn't taking my inhaler. I had been telling myself, no, you can breathe just fine, so much that it suddenly occurred to me, I'm not using my inhalers. And I am no way saying you should stop using your inhalers or any other medication. I'm not a doctor, so please do not. This is entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only. So I'm just telling you what happened to me, and you can use your own discernment and see if something like that has ever happened to you. But I've been telling myself every day that every single molecule in my body is healthy and that my lungs are being rebuilt. My blood tissue, the muscles, the bronchi, all the different parts of your lungs are perfectly healthy. I've been saying this every day, all day long. You're perfectly healthy, you're perfectly healthy, you're perfectly healthy, you're perfectly healthy. I've been saying that all day long. So I'm focusing on my health. Focus is there already. It's not on the rest of my life, but now it will be because of this interview. So I suddenly realized I haven't used my inhalers in a week. Wow. I think I'm getting rid of this disease thinking. I mean, that's a milestone. That's huge. Because I have them in my pocketbook, I have them in my pocket, I have them by the couch where I sit and watch TV, I have them on my desk, I have them in the kitchen. There isn't a place in my house that there isn't an inhaler. There's an inhaler on the top of my china cabinet before you go up the stairs. So in case I need it before I go up the stairs. I haven't used it in a week. This is, holy cow. So this is how I've been handling it. Is I've been drinking teas. I bought this book from ancientremedies.com. I really need to get sponsorship from them because I love them. This book is amazing. And I've been drinking all these teas to help with my acid reflux, to help with the pain when I had my teeth removed. They didn't give me any pain. They didn't give me any pain killers for the pain. And I had 4 molars removed, and that was painful when the stuff wore off. It was painful. And I used the book to find out what soothed the gums, what soothed the nerves, what helped with actual pain, what helped with actual nerve pain. And so I've been drinking the teas and just having fun with it and believing that it was work. And that's a big part too. You have to believe that it will work. And so I thought, well, what about acid reflux? And I looked that up, and there's a tea for that. And so I was drinking the tea for that, and I haven't had acid reflux in a week either. So I honestly think that I found a way for me to do this and have it feel like I'm being healthy, like I'm eating cleanly. I'm not eating a lot of junk food. I'm not eating processed food. So I'm not only telling myself I'm healthy, but I'm acting healthy. I'm exercising. I'm eating clean food. I'm drinking teas that I know will help whatever situation I may have. And I'm just focusing on the health aspect of things. But today I applied the 5D to a situation, and it was beautiful. So it works even if everyone around you is in 3D. It works. Okay, so it will help you with everything. It'll help you with procrastination. Somebody told me that this stone, this crystal, helps with procrastination. And I was like, what? It's a something jasper. Anyways, it has all these indentations in it, and I just felt that kind of looks like sacred geometry. I don't know if you can see it or not. You see those, the way the light's shining. But there's these indentations in it, in the rock itself. And I thought, wow, that kind of looks like some of the sacred geometry symbols. And so I don't know, I just said, I'm going to carry this around and it's going to stop me from procrastinating. And it did, because I believed it. Because I believed it. So, I mean, belief is huge. Okay. All right, but the point that I'm making is I have been saying no since Joshua told me that I could say no to the new pain. And then you add the no to everything has a right to live. However, I have a right to live in the paradigm I want to live in. And in the fifth dimension, which we are now creating, I decide that in my fifth dimension, there is no pain. I decide in my fifth dimension, there is no strife. I don't have to strive for things. Things just come to me. And I've been working on that for a couple of years now. And I'm pretty good at making things just come to me. I don't have to work for things. They just come to me. You know, I created my business and I created my classes and I created my clientele or whatever. I did do some initial work, but now it just comes to me. People come to me and they say, hey, I heard you did readings, or hey, I heard you teach how to have clairvoyance or claircognizant or clairaudience, whatever. I really want to hear my angels. Can you teach me? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So I don't have to search out people to bring them to me, because I've imagined, just like I did with my health, I imagined the work comes to me. I've imagined the people come to me. I've imagined the people contact me and say, hey, I need help. I need to get a reading. I need to learn how to do this. I heard you had free meditations. Where do I get those? You know? So that just comes to me. And so I earn a decent living just by word of mouth and just by putting myself in that energy of it will come to me. Like you're in a canoe and you're going down the canoe and there's the whatever it is that you wanted there, and it's on the side of the riverbank, and you just stop your canoe and pick it up and put it in your canoe and then keep going down your canoe, keep going down the river. That's how I feel I am doing. And we don't have to live by the 3D rules anymore. That we came here fully knowing that we were going to have to do that. But now is the opportunity for us to bust out of that, to bust out of it completely and not have to play their game or play by their rules. We don't have to play by their rules anymore. It's kind of like in the Matrix when, I can't think of his name, started realizing he can just move, he can slow motion everything and just move, and then he can just get out of the way of the bullets. Because you control it. You control it. So this is the place that we've gotten to. We've gotten to the place where now we are, Keanu Reeves in the Matrix, and we're seeing the bullet coming, and we're like, in my paradigm, time slows down, and I can just move out of the way. I don't have to partake in your violent scenario. In my scenario, there are no bullets. In my scenario, there are no wars. In my scenario, there isn't people on the street, homeless and starving and addicted to drugs. I don't want to see that. I don't want to feel the pain of the people that I drive by. I'm an empath. I feel their pain. I feel it unless I shut it down before I get to that intersection where I know they are. I feel it. And so 9 times out of 10, I'll give them money. And then I will feel guilty because I know they're going to buy drugs with it. But I don't like the feeling of not trying to help somebody that is in pain like that. But now I know that there's another version of them in the 5th dimension, and they don't have those problems. So that's what I'm saying in my mind now. I'm saying, I'm going to envision you in the fifth dimension, and you're just taking a walk. You're not homeless. You're not addicted to drugs or alcohol, and you're not starving. Because in Maine, if you don't have a place to live, you freeze to death. It's cold. There's a lot of guilt seeing these kind of people on the street. And the fact that we don't do anything about it, we rescue animals, but we don't rescue people. It's wrong. The whole thing is wrong. And that is their paradigm. That is the dark forces putting that paradigm on us. And I say, no, I do not wish to partake in this. I give you permission to exist, but I do not partake in it. I'm going to send this person unconditional love without judgment, and I'm going to propel forward them into the fifth dimension and let them see what they could actually have in the fifth dimension. And then they can choose. They can choose. Do I want to be back there where I'm in pain and suffering and freezing to death? Or do I want to be here? Do I want to be here where I'm warm and I know who I am and I'm awake and I know how to take care of myself. I know that God loves me unconditionally without judgment, and I know that I will have every single thing I need to take care of myself and then more, because God loves us that much. He never meant for, or she never meant for us to be homeless and starving or freezing to death or any of the other atrocities that happen to people, to humans. That wasn't supposed to be the way it is, and it's gone too far. It's gone too far. And God has told me himself, it's gone too far. It's gone too far. He does not want what's happening anymore. All these scenarios have been played out, and all the gain from wisdom and expansion has been done, and he and she are done with it. They're done with it. They're done with it, and they want humanity to propel forward. And this is how you do it. You propel yourself forward by seeing something that you do not want to partake in and telling the universe, no, this is what I want to experience. And pull your full heart and your full emotion into it. Put all that into it. And envision your life that way. Just like I envision myself being able to breathe and being healthy, and every molecule in my body being healthy. Every single molecule being healthy. I've envisioned this, and now I'm getting there. And yes, I slip up and I mess up, and so I'm not fully healed yet. But I will be. I fully see myself perfectly healthy. And one of the first things I want to do is run. I want to go jogging. And I want to go jogging somewhere pretty. Like maybe go to California and jog on one of the trails or something. So, yeah, I want to do something like that. I want to go somewhere when I'm completely done with it, when it's completely done, when this scenario has played itself out and I no longer have it, because I know that I will be there. I know I will, because I can feel myself getting better and better. And I also feel my healing abilities getting stronger and stronger, and the capacity that I have to send out the healing being more and more stronger. And I'm giving that healing to myself every day, as well as sending it out to others every day. So every time that you send out a healing or receive a healing, you're layering a higher vibration into you. So you're an empty vessel, like a water bottle, and you're filling it up, and then you're filling it up, and you're filling it up, and you're filling up. And so this is the capacity of this container, correct? Well, your container, where energy is concerned, the more that you are able to take, the bigger your container gets. The more you are able to release that no longer serves you, you've opened up space, and now they can put the goodies in there. Now the goodies can go in there. Now the higher vibrational energies can go in that space that you have released the pain and suffering. It's not going to be in your body anymore. It's not going to be in your body. And so there you have this empty space. And now you can fill that empty space with more high vibrational energy. And that high vibrational energy can propel you into a better life. It can make you healthier. It can help you to heal other people. Yeah. So we don't think about all these things. But I want you to think about your free will and what you can do with that free will. How can you use your free will now that you know exactly how to do it? And there's no boundaries. There's no boundaries on your free will. So boundaries. So let's create this fifth dimension. Let's create it beautiful. Let's create it beautiful. So there isn't any of these things that we don't want to see or don't want to be part of. Let's make it really beautiful. I hope that this resonates with you. And if it does, please like, subscribe, and share. And leave me a comment, even if it's just a smiley face. Oh, and if you do want to have me do a YouTube or my other YouTube where it's live and you can ask questions, they have to be general questions. It can't be personal. General questions. Write that in the comment too, because the more people that say that they would like to have that, then the if just a couple people say they want it, then I'm not going to do it. But if a lot of people say they want it, then I'll do it. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, sending you all a big love wave, and bye-bye for now.